the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight we're here with OP Racing Premier Superspeedway Series, as we are at the World Center of Racing. That is none other than the beautiful Daytona International Superspeedway. Thank you very much for joining me here tonight. My name is KR Stolfus, and in the booth with me is Mr. MRN in training, Al Smith. How you doing, Al?
I'm doing pretty good here, KR. Glad to be here at this, a beautifully lit up gem that we have here tonight. And not only at Daytona, it is the regular season finale, KR. And I am jazzed up, ready for this one, as there is a lot on the line for a lot of these drivers. We know that we have 12 locked in. We'll get to that a little bit later on in tonight's broadcast. But there's a lot of drivers on the hot seat needing a good, solid night or even a win if they want to go after the coveted OP Racing Premier Series Championship. It's all going to happen here tonight. 100 laps. Qualifying underway right now. We're excited to bring you the action here. It's going to be an exciting one, KR.
That it is, and as you did say, qualifying is underway. One of the first few cars to cross the start-finish line, that is the 77 of David Booth. And David Booth and that Checkered Flag Motorsports, they are waiting for tonight to cool down before they try and heat it up. These guys come on strong in these last races of the season. We'll be keeping an eye on Checkered Flag Motorsports and see if one of these drivers can sneak in. Al, qualifying is underway. Someone's going to sit on pole, but who you watching?
Right now, taking a look at the number 6 of Dustin Barber. He's going to come around and complete his first lap. It looks like he'll be one of the first ones. Alex Green going to go to the top. Now David Booth, but Barber going to come across the line. And that'll finish 4th on his qualifying time. So right now, David Booth out on top of this one. How about the number 14 of Cody Eldred? Getting up to speed, coming up off of turn number 2 on the apron. Got to get past that coveted blue cone before you can really try to get up to speed, KR. And you got to get up to speed in a hurry here. We know how important qualifying is. Track position here at Daytona, well, it means everything. Tonight, the bumps are gone, so they're going to have a little bit more maneuverability. And we're going to see a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing, I do believe, here, especially with the nice cool temperatures underneath the moonlight here at Daytona.
David Booth still holds on to that pole position, but the 97 of Jeremy Funk, a rookie here in this OP Racing Monday Night Series, he is on the throttle and he is trying to lay down his best lap. Travis Elliott is moved into 6th place. Anthony English in that turn 3 Dirty Dicks machine, that is the 44, finding itself in 7th place. Logan the Kid Helton in the 63, making his way down the straightaway as he is coming around on his outlap. He's going to be trying to lay down a much faster lap than the 77 of David Booth. So Al, it's anyone's race for that pole position.
It is. David Booth still holding a new 3rd place, man. Mark Man in the 04, probably the hottest driver coming into tonight's racing. He's won the last 2. He won at Talladega. He won at the Legacy Daytona last week in the Honoring Our Champions 250. Can he go 3 in a row for that number 1 seed in the playoffs? We'll have to find out, but Mark Man's getting hot right at the right time of the season, KR. and he is sitting right now third overall. One driver working down the back stretch. It's Logan the Kid Helton working down the back stretch, and down the turn number 3, going to complete his lap. We know Helton always has a fast hot rod as he comes off the turn number 4. Let's see what kind of time the 63 will put in. I believe he'll be the first car to cross the stripe that's on track right now. So Helton in that Chevy Camaro is gonna go P6, so 6 quick for Helton. Right now, all chasing a 50.40 put up by the 77 of David Booth.
Zach Workman in the 19 is on the clock as Zach Fritsch posts a time good enough for 8th place. Workman, one of the drivers who is on that bubble, and right now that bubble is not in his favor. Zach Workman finding himself just 13 points below the cutoff line. The pole position and some stage wins would go a long way as Randall Cobb in the 52 moves up into second, and Workman good enough for 6th place. So far, no one has anything for the 77 of David Booth.
One driver working through turns 3 and 4 is the number 26 of Hunter Reynolds in that Reynolds wrap Ford Mustang. Going to come off of turn number 4, looking to put his time into the books here tonight in qualifying for the Daytona 250. And checker flag is out on Reynolds, and Reynolds is going to go fourth quick for the 26 of Reynolds here tonight. Next driver, I believe, will be Jeffrey Crosby. Well, he's just getting up to speed, KR, so I lied. It'll be Les Levy in that checkered flag Motorsports number 62 as he's entering turn number 3.
Les Levy in the 62 has that thing down on the yellow line as he makes his way on to the front stretch. This is on the clock for the 62. The Ricky Bobby Foundation for the people who want to go fast finds itself in 11th spot.
11th spot for Levy. Next driver that'll be crossing the line will be the number 5 of Bob Lacavera in the Convergent. I'm blind here, KR. That's why I wear the glasses. Then it does not improve my looks or my vision, apparently. Lacavera going to come across the line in the Convergent number 5. He will go 20th quick. A new person into the number 2 spot, though. J.D. Crow up to the number 3 spot.
Getting down to the final 3 minutes of qualifying, Peter DeBorgia in the 40, starting to make his way around the speedway to try and get up to speed. That 40 moves on to the back stretch. Jeff Crosby Jr. in the 33 finds himself in 9th place. The qualifying times still have not been able to match that 50.40 by David Booth. Randall Cobb got close. We'll see if anyone else has anything for him as the 53 of Dave Hunt moves into 15th spot. Kevin Freese and Peter DeBorgia both crossed the start-finish line now, and they are both on the clock in this single qualifying car session.
They are, and they need a good start here. DeBorgia in the number 40, Kevin Freese. Freese comes into tonight 5 points below the cut line, so a good starting spot and staying up front here tonight could make or break his chances of being in the top 16, and that car's had speed all season long. KR is one of those drivers that, well, always ends up with a broken Kellogg's Cornflakes box discounted after the race.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Eric Laurie in the 071 finding himself down the backstretch as he is going to try and put it on pole. But we are going to step away from the national anthem as Kevin Freese does put it on pole. Peter DeBorgia moves into 3rd. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, Please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As our drivers are taking to the grid, that can only mean one thing. We're getting ready to go racing, but before we do, let's get into the starting lineup for tonight's Daytona 250, presented by Butt Kicker. On the inside of row number 1 at a time of 50.371, that is the 23 is Sebastian Marin. To his outside, the 88 of Gabe Butler, just a little bit slower. Row number 2 going to be made up of the 25 of Kevin Freese and the 77 from Checkered Flag Motorsports, that is David Booth. Row number 3 made up of the 40 of Peter DeBorgia, and to his outside, the 52 of Randall Cobb. Row 4 will be the 2 of JD Crow and the 27 Sean Stevens. Row number 5, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, who is currently using his father Jimmy Reynolds' racing rig because Hunter's PC burned out. So last minute substitution, if you will, for the 26. Mark Mann in the 04, looking to make it 3 in a row, finds himself on the outside of row number 5.
Starting on the inside of row number 6, a winner this season, the number 7, this is Josh Milam, and outside of him in the Meteor Racing car number 19, this is Zach Workman. Jeffrey Crosby in the Flat Out Motorsports, number 33, will roll off 13th and 14th. We'll go to the 24, Flat Out Motorsports, also team member 24 of Tyler Miller. 15th starting spot will go to Logan Helton, and outside of him will be the 071 of Eric Gorey. Row number 9 will be Joe Delavecchia for the Butankas, number 052 17th, and outside of him, the 62, it is Mr. Les Levy. Dak Fritz and Dave Hunt will make up row number 10.
Row number 11 will be the 51 of Travis Elliott. On the outside of row number 11, the 95 of Jim Mayer. Row 12, Anthony English in the 44, and the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Row number 13 will be the 47 of Richard Kuhn. To the outside, that is the 6 of Dustin Barber, the man who comes in just 3 points above the cutoff line. Right behind them in row number 14, that is Bob Lacavera and Cody Ober. Row 15 will be the 97 of Jeremy Funk and the 14 of Cody Eldred.
31st will go to Alex Green, Rick Seabrand's 32nd, David Overstreet and Ernie Williams will make up 33 and 34th. 35th, Jared Ford, Dan Harrington, and shotgun on the field, the Dark Knight himself, Jimmy Reynolds in the Fuel Sim Racing number 17. 37 cars, 100 laps. Stage number 1 about to set the green flag as they will come to the tri-oval. We will be underway for the regular season finale here at Daytona.
250 miles here at Daytona. Last chance to get locked in. A few drivers have locked themselves in on points already. One of those guys that isn't locked in could get a win and see himself try and carry his championship hopes all the way to the final race of this season. Sebastian Merritt in the 23 down the back stretch, running side by side with the 88 of Gabe Butler. Butler and Merritt are drivers who are locked in. Merritt by virtue of a win, Butler by virtue of having an outstanding season and already accumulated enough points to be good to, no matter who wins, Gabe Butler locked in on points as they come around to lead the first lap. The 23 of Sebastian Merritt, a familiar car at the front of this field now.
Yeah, Marin working the inside line. He's got his teammate, the 25 of Kevin Freese. And Freese still comes in tonight 5 points below the cut line, so he needs to stay up front. He needs to accumulate as many points that he is racing. Right now, the number 6 of Dustin Barber and the 21 of Holloway. Those are your cutoff drivers. And of course, if someone that isn't that close in the points doesn't win here tonight, it makes the 9-race start requirement of making it into the chase. We'll keep tabs on that for you the best as we can. They come off turn number 4. Still 2 by 2 as they dance here at 185 miles an hour. Leading this lap will be Marin just by a bumper over the 88 of Butler. Butler on the outside. He's got David Booth in the back pocket as they enter turn number 1.
Riding on board with Kevin Freese, Jeremy Funk in the 97 has got his race car wound up well and good. He lays down the fastest lap of the race for the moment, 46.65. Very quick on the track right now.
Very quick, that outside line with a little bit of momentum. They've kind of pushed out in front, but now the inside line starting to move forward. DeBorgia and Crow down there as well. They're the 3rd and 4th car in line. That's being led by the 23 of Marin. Marin's going to lead it at the stripe, putting lap 3 into the books, working lap number 4. And they are still 2 by 2. Right now, the cars, last week, we saw them dancing around the bumps, wearing his tires out. Tonight, it's going to come down to, I think, being up front here. I think track position is going to be king here tonight. If you can stay up front, you need to stay up front. Right now, the 88 of Butler, he's bailing out because he's going to fall from the outside line. He's going to go backwards. Right now, here is the beginning of stage number 1.
Sebastian Marin stays glued to that yellow line, the 25 on his bumper as well. Freese just 5 points below the cutoff. Let's go ahead and take a look at these point standings for the final race of the regular season. There you see it, Seabrand, Ober, Reynolds, and Barber. Right now, to the good, but anything can happen in this race that could play spoiler to that. In fact, if I'm looking at this correctly, there is only 37 cars in this race. And so Rick Seabrand can only score 37 points. Someone can score 45. I think Rick Seabrand locks himself in with a start here.
Yeah, I think Seabrand is locked in. That leaves Cody Ober, Hunter Reynolds, and Dustin Barber that were on the plus side there, KR. It's kind of on the hot seat. If he can score some points, I think if Cody Ober can score some points here in this opening stage, that'll lock himself. And I think you want to be, like you said, above that 40-point mark. Kind of feel safe. If you're below that, well, you got to work your way up there, try to get to the front, put yourself in position. And right now, Dustin Barber, that slim, thin ice, they're making it in there. A win would solidify it. But if someone below that cut line, like a Dan Holloway, Kevin Freese, Zach Workman, Cody Eldridge, or anybody else that has not won already this season, well, Barber is going to be trying to play spoiler next week as the playoffs will kick off 1 week from here tonight. But up front, David Booth on the outside line, trying to make something happen. He would be a driver that has not been to victory lane yet and play spoiler. That would knock out the 6 of Barber. You're championship standings if the race were to end right now, but plenty of time to go. Stage 1 going to, I believe, lap 25. Is that correct, KR?
Stage 1 will go to lap 25. And then stage 2 will be the completion of lap 50. And we're just going to try and finish the race out from there.
I like it. Everybody doing a great job so far, 2x2. All 36 cars on the racetrack are in this lead draft, as you see. You see a few drivers and out back hanging out there. We got pit action right now, being led by the 2033 of Kevin Crosby on the pit road. A little bit of that pit strategy of when to pit, when not to pit, already coming into play here in stage number 1.
As the main pack stays out, 29 race cars stay out. 7 cars onto pit road. We have found that the guys who hit pit road first are able to gain some track position, but you have to work together. You can't just pit first. You gotta have a group with you. You all have to come off of pit road at the same time and work very well getting up to speed. Otherwise, it's all for naught. As another group of drivers head for pit lane, Hunter Reynolds, Josh Milam, Dustin Barber, Jim Mayer, Logan Helton, all peeling off for pit road.
Yeah, being led by Reynolds. Stay there, Sebastian Marin still up on the front of this one. That inside line has the numbers, and they're trying to pull out in front. David Booth stuck on the outside line. He's got Randall Cobb right there behind him in car number 52 as they work down the back stretch. And here in the turn number 3, Mark Mann in the 27 of Stevens right there as well. Our biggest mover of the race so far is that number 14, a driver out of New York, Cody Eldred. It looks like he'll be coming to the pit road this time. Big group of cars.
Big group of cars on the pit road. So far, it looks like everyone has gotten on and off of pit road very cleanly. Jeremy Funk just laid down the fastest lap of his race, or of this race. And that is despite the fact that cars have been peeling on and off of pit road.
A very fast lap there, so I expect this group that stayed out to come down this time, or maybe even next time by, led by the 77 of Booth through turns 3 and 4. Everybody seems to be down low. Now the 62 of Les Levy stay out. So Checker Flag Motorsports staying out on the racetrack right now. They cross the stripe. Stevens, Cobb, and Mann all coming down pit road this time. So it'll be interesting to see if these drivers are staying out right now. Yeah, how much ground or time are they losing? Especially being stacked up 2x2 right now as they work down the back stretch.
Watching out the back from the 23 of Sebastian Marin is the 33 of Jeff Crosby. Has a train of cars being ran on him, and he got the momentum for the moment. Looks like he is going to be able to swing his race car out in front of Sebastian Marin. This will be a battle for the lead when everything cycles through, but the 62 of Les Levy staying out along with David Booth, the 73 of Jared Forbes, the 46 of David Overstreet. All 4 of those drivers from Checkered Flag Motorsports. I told you, you gotta watch out for these Checkered Flag Motorsports. They are up to something, and they usually have a trick up their sleeve when it gets down to the nitty-gritty part of the season.
Definitely do. They know right now they are out on the front of this one. 6-car breakaway up front. They have a 31-second lead over what is a great battle between Sebastian Marin and Jeff Crosby. They run 2x2, and Crosby KR back in the red tin can here tonight.
Yeah, that red just looks outstanding in my opinion, and so he is running that tonight. It looks very well, especially as he is battling to the outside. Now, Crosby, one of the drivers who has been locked in on points. So he is good. Anything can happen. He is going for the win, though. He is bound and determined to get a win here on Monday night. We'll see if he can get that tonight. Sebastian Marin already with 1 win to his credit this season. Kevin Freese looking for that win, so too is the 24 of Tyler Miller.
They're all working 2 by 2. It looked like Marin had a little bit of an electrical issue that time entering turn 1 car sent below the yellow line. That's the 071 of Eric Laurie. Laurie will bail out of that group. Sutton Orion, that John Peter 071. He stays up to speed, but losing a lot of ground there. So really big checkup. And how about Alex Green? Advanced Auto Parts number 3, the fastest lap 1 lap ago with a 46.29. You don't think business is picking up? You are wrong. He hangs out right there behind the 8 of Cody Obert.
So the 62 of Les Levy continuing to lead, the 77 of David Booth. Got about 2 or 3 more laps at the most in this race car. This whole pack going to have to come down pit road. They cannot make it to the end of stage number 1 without making a pit stop. So the 62 and 77 content to continue riding around, maybe catch that caution. Although I don't know if caution really isn't going to do you many favors here. I don't think anyone would come down pit road that has already. Tires not a factor here at Daytona this early. So, I don't know, as soon as I say that, the whole field would come down pit road.
Well, just because we say that, you know, they like to prove us wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just to prove us wrong.
So we expect to see this Checker Flag Motorsports Brigade up on the front of this one to come down next time by. I can't believe they stretched it this far, to be honest with you. But our math could be wrong. They have the pit guys on the pit boxes telling them what needs to be done. They are the only 5 cars that have not been down pit road. That 6 car behind it, the 5 Bob Lacabera, he is down 1 lap to these race leaders, so he'll be back on lead lap time. He'll have no drafting partner once these 5 drivers take that left-hand turn. Well, and they're going to go 1 more lap, Care. See, just like that, we thought they were coming down pit road. They said, we'll make them look foolish again.
Oh my. Well, I'll tell you what, the 5 of Bob Lacavera looked like he had a 15-second pit stop, maybe a 4-tire stop for him, along with that fuel putting him a little bit behind the pack. And not sure what happened to the 53 of Dave Hunt. I saw him go a lap down as well. 2 race cars, 1 lap down. Of course, Jimmy Reynolds is shown in the scoring as they are going to peel off for pit road. 77 locking him up. He's going wide. The 46 a little bit sideways, and the 73 into the inside wall. So Jared Forbes did smack the wall there, and Les Levy in the 62 going to hit his pit stall.
So we'll see how this works. They were some 30 seconds in front of your race leader, this pack back here, who is really starting to dice up 3 wide, the outside line being led. Oh, there's the 4th Brigade. Josh Milam up on the outside as they work through the tri-oval. As the El Paso Checker Flag Motorsports team getting back up to speed. They are 3 wide here at Daytona. That normally does not end well. Milam on the outside, Crosby on leading the inside lane, and Sebastian Marin down low where we've seen them all night long, and that's how they race down the Daytona Super Stretch.
Making some moves to the outside, the 7 of Josh Milam, using the 3rd lane to try and work his way forward. He's got his teammates tucked in tight behind him, and they are trying to win this stage. Milam already locked in. Hunter Reynolds, not so much. He needs a good point showing in these stages to help solidify that if he cannot get the win here tonight. Same can be said for Dustin Barber in the 6. And so I think we're going to see these guys really battle very hard to get out in front of the field.
And go down out that 25 of Kevin Freese. Remember, he is battling those guys that are on the outside lane for a position into the championship 16. He sits 5 points below, so if he can finish ahead of them, that's just a few points that he's going to gain on them, get closer to that cutoff line. Right now, Barber has it, but I believe at this point, with the cars in between himself and Barber, Kevin Freese might be tied unofficially just by the quick math if the stage were to end this time. But we have 6 laps to go here in stage number 1, and they are still 3 by 3. The Fords, the lone soldiers up on the extreme high side of the speedway, but boy, they get a good push down the back stretches, the inside line. Now, Miller's going to jump out from behind Crosby to the outside line. He'll bring them to the front as Crosby's middle line starts to get sucked in there to the sucker hole, as we call it down here in the corner. Now Miller will drop back down in that middle lane. Tyler Miller, your new race leader.
Kevin Freese in the 23, or I'm sorry, Sebastian Marin in the 23, Kevin Freese in the 25. Not giving up on that yellow line. They are staying glued down there. Battling right back to the inside. But I'll tell you what, the 7 of Josh Milam not giving up that charge in the outside lane, even though they have fallen back a little bit. All they need is just a little bit extra momentum, and they will get their way on that high side. The 12 of Zach Fritsch and the 95 of James Mayer finding themselves in the middle, along with the 24 and the 33 in that middle lane, winning the race down the back straight.
It's just about to ask you, we know the end of the stage is coming. How hard are you pushing right now? If you are locked in, are you trying to stay up there? If you're one of the drivers that are not locked in, how hard must you push, trying to stay inside the top 10 to score those ever so important points here in stage number 1? But you also only have one backup car sitting in the pit. You can't afford to wreck it early on here and get no points in stage number 1. So it's one of those balancing acts that, well, I'm glad we don't have to make here, KR.
Yeah, I can tell you from my personal experience, I find myself getting into more trouble when I change what I do on a normal basis. But for me, you got to go out and you got to run the race the best you can. If you start trying to get tricky and, you know, oh, I'm going to try this time. Oh, as the 33 gets into the wall, the 7 of Josh Milam gets collected. Peter DeGorgia going up and over in the 40. Hunter Reynolds collected. Several cars who were looking for a solid stage finish get collected in this one. And I think the 24 and the 23 going to see who comes out on top for the stage win.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be the 24 of Miller, at least at the line was. Depends when the yellow flag came out. But it looks like there may be a push gone bad from the 12 of Fritz to the backside of Crosby. Set him up and to the right front, the left front quarter panel of the 7 of Milo. It looks like from my vantage point there. The big one at the end of stage number 1, KR.
Jeff Crosby in the 33. Not sure what happened. Looked like he almost ran over something on the track. That one was a little goofy. Let's go on board and see what happened to the 33. I have no idea. I have never seen a car bounce like that through the trial ball. I don't know what just happened to that 33.
Looks like a possible right front blown or something like that, the way that car just, like you said, hopped.
Take one more look. This is just one that seems really weird. Unfortunately, it stacks up the outside lane. Peter DeBorgia turtle shells it for a moment. Fortunately, he lands on all fours and is able to continue on. So as they make their way onto the front stretch and onto pit road, the 24 of Tyler Miller is going to hit pit lane first, and that makes him our unofficial Stage 1 winner. Al, I don't know if you've seen this or not. I just now saw it, but Liberty Fires is in YouTube. So is Miss Mara.
I did. I'm glad to see you both here with us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and along with all your friends. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let these drivers know that you appreciate the efforts that they are putting out there here tonight. They enjoy getting those thumbs up. Let's get that number in double digits here tonight. Think we can do that, KR?
I don't know. You
We're
are
at
Mr.
7
MRN.
now. We are at 7 now. We need 3 more to get to double digits. I think we can do that.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay, well, while you think that, I think I'm going to talk to our stage winner. That is none other than the driver of the 24, Tyler Miller. Tyler, you got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir.
Tyler, you come away with a stage win here tonight. Tell me a little bit about what that racing out there is like.
It's fun, fast. The cars are, if you're like second in line, especially when you're 3 wide, you get really loose, extremely loose, which is different for Daytona, but we'll just have to adapt.
Well, at 24 winning its 3rd stage and coming in on a night when you need those points or a win or however you want to look at it, what's it going to take for you to try and get that win?
KR, my best strategy for stages is to get up front, or get as close as possible, and then of course get good pit stops. And then if you do that, then you'll usually end up front and have a chance at it.
All right, man. Well, good luck in that strategy. I know that don't usually work for me because I find a way to crash them.
Yeah, it's a sketchy strategy. Zach actually gives me crap about it all the time, but I'm always wanting to stay up front. I just enjoy it more, you know.
Well, there you go. All right, man. Shout outs, thank yous you'd like to give?
A big shout out to Eric and Christina, our friends back home watch every week. Any of my co-workers or friends online watching, and then of course UKR, and then Josh and the admin group for putting on the league for us. And hey, wait, last week I forgot. Shout out to everybody up in the booth, by the way.
All right, man. Well, nice job. Congratulations on the Stage 1 win, and we look forward to seeing you in victory lane.
All right, brother. Thank you.
That is Tyler Miller, driver of the 24 from Flat Out Motorsports. Well, there you go, Al. All he's going to do is just run up front.
Hey, that seems like a solid plan if you ask me.
I do think it is a solid plan. So J.D. Crow in the 4s make his way into the top 5. He is right there on the back bumper of the 24. He's going to carry us along for this restart. The lights have gone out on that safety vehicle.
Thumb up, update, yeah, we are at currently 9. We're so close. We gained 2. Need 1 more for double digits.
Need 1 more for double digits. All right, someone's going to have to lower their standards a little bit if you don't mind, and thumb that up for these drivers.
Exactly. Pace car down and away. Tyler Miller going to rejoin the race here as your race leader, Sebastian Merritt. Now to the outside, Kevin Freese as well. J.D. Crow, Jim Mayer down in the inside line to get up to the gearbox. It looks like Sebastian Mayer is able to jump up there. Now J.D. Crow going to jump up to the outside and help that outside line get going. Jim Mayer, DeBorgia down low. DeBorgia having to go to the backup car. We talked about how important it was to kind of keep that backup car in the pits. Now DeBorgia not having that, will have to race very defensively here, trying not to get caught up in another wreck as they work through turns 3 and 4. A lot of drivers having to go to the backup car KR after that last one. So now we'll see. It's that chess game of being patiently aggressive here on lap 28 at the beginning of stage number 2. And by my calculation, I think we're pretty close to a draw for that last spot. After that, Barber finishing spot number 8. Kevin Freese was 3rd in stage number 1. So I believe that tightens it up quite a bit.
Yeah, Kevin Freese in the 25 finds himself on the outside lane with the 2 of JD Crow trying to help him. The 23 is Sebastian Marin right there as well. Team Bootknocker, Sebastian Marin, Kevin Freese, Joe Delavecchia, and of course the 2 of JD Crow. Those are the guys we're talking about Team Bootknocker. And right now, 3 of the 4 drivers inside the top 4.
They're up there. They came ready to play right now as they work 2 turns, 1 and 2. Still stacked up 2 by 2. Right behind them, the Checker Flag Motorsports, the 62 of Levy, and the 77 of Booth still inside the top 10 as they work down the back stretch. That outside line with a little bit of momentum, but stalling out. Enter number 3, and well, Logan Helton says, well, I got to run still. He'll jump to the outside. We're going to go 3 abreast. 2 turns, 3 and 4. And how about Lacavera? Was down a lap until the leaders pitted. Stayed on the lead lap to the end of stage number 1. Now battling for a top 10 position here early on in stage number 2.
Yeah, the 53 of Dave Hunt ended up going 2 laps down in the first stage. He had that issue on pit road. Got collected by a few race cars, including the 63 of Logan Helton being involved in that incident as well. But Dave Hunt ended up going 2 laps down, used that free pass at the caution for the stage to get one of those laps back. So Dave Hunt not out of this just yet, but he still has a little bit of a hill to climb up.
Definitely does. Their driver, Josh Milam, he elected not to go to a backup car after that wreck, but he has lost touch with the main group as they are still 3 wide to the tri-oval. Now settling it back down to 2 by 2. For Logan Helton testing the waters up high. You saw it working for Milam, Reynolds, and Barber until it didn't work. When we had that, well, we'll call it an odd situation through the tri-oval for the 33 at Crosby. I still think the tire popped or something happened to that car that caused the big wreck at the end, stage number 1. So how about the push JD Crow is given to the backside of the 25 of Kevin Freese. Freese now pulls up even with a 23 of Marin. Marin, a winner already on the season, would like to get number 2. Right now, the only driver with 2 wins this season. Well, that's the 04 of Mark Mann. He comes in, he's the hottest driver on the circuit, winning the last 2 weeks, and that is no easy feat here in the OP Racing Premier Series.
So Marin out in front. Tyler Miller, your stage 1 winner on his back bumper. Marin came into tonight with 4 stage wins to his credit. He has gotten quite a few stage wins, a little bit of a wiggle as the 24 gives him a shot down the back stretch. And so Sebastian Marin really taking advantage of those stage points. And even though he locked himself in with a win a couple weeks ago, his point accumulation was looking pretty good to be able to get him through this one as well. The 40 of Peter DeBorgia, the 19 of Zach Workman, the 88 of Gabe Butler, all on the pit road.
They'll bring Dan Harrington and Eric Laurie with them as well. Meanwhile, up front, Sebastian Marin enjoys a solo lead. Outside line kind of breaking apart here, but Joey Delavecchia, he's starting to make a move with Logan Helton. And how about Dan Holloway coming back into the fray? Holloway came into the night 3 points below the cut line. Needs a good run there. Was outside the top 10 at the end of stage number 1. So finds himself, and well, I can go for a gobstopper right now.
Gobstoppers, they're pretty good.
Favorite color? Purple's a good one. I like the red. Meanwhile, more takers on the pit road being led by the Hall of Famer Jim Mayer. Tyler Miller, your stage 1 winner, coming down pit road as well. So about 8-10 cars down on pit road this time for what will be their only stop here in stage number 1, leaving out front Darren Freeze Pro, your top three. Logan Helton being left out to dry as Dan Holloway has dropped down in front of Les Levy in car number 62. Now the 46 of Dave Overstreet. And what is a throwback to his personal stock car, wasn't it, KR? Isn't that what we were told last week? As more drivers come down pit road.
The 7 of Josh Milam going to peel off for pit road right before the rest of the field came up to pass him and put him a lap down. So he will go 1 lap down here, but 46.04, fastest lap of the race, being turned by Dave Hunt in the 53 as he tries to get himself back into this lead lap contention.
And he is in that spot, that top group. Whoa, 1 car up. That was the 62 of Les Levy. He got all cattywampus down the backstretch. Somehow saves it, but that really checked it up in the 73 of Jared Forbes. Had to make an evasive move, and they stay out once again. So we saw this in stage number 1, where they really stretched it out, KR. Could this be a play for pit strategy for the final stage, where they'll be able to be a little bit off sequence than everybody else? Maybe not have to come down as many times on pit road as everyone else will.
Yeah, I don't know. You know that. Oh, contact!
Trouble.
Jared Forbes hard into the inside wall. No caution. We stayed green. Everyone else was able to keep going, but Jared Forbes smacked that wall very hard.
Still very slow down on the access road, so tough break for the 73 of Forbes.
So the 46 of David Overstreet, your race leader, Forbes, still slow. That 73 really hurting, trying to get back to pit road to start working on that car as the pack flashes by him as they have already pitted and scream right on by. So Forbes still crawling around. He's going to make it this time, but he is going to end up losing a lap, maybe even 2.
Definitely will there. Forbes going to go down a lap as the pack flashes by your race leaders, which is now the 46 of Overstreet. Overstreet up leading this pack, and that's the 62 of Levy. Crosby in that backup car is in the 3rd spot. Bob Lacavera and Dave Booth rounding out your top 5. And Jeremy Funk in the 97 in that blue and white car. Well, that's the aeronautic school for Dave Hunt. He's on the first car 1 lap down right now, trying to stay there in case the yellow flag were to come out.
So the 46 of Overstreet, once again, out in front. The 62 of Les Levy, right there with him. Checkered Flag Motorsports going for a little bit of a different strategy. Nice thing about this is they will be able to hit pit road kind of free and clear. No one else will be on pit road. A lot less congestion. And overall, just a better chance at not dying on pit road, but I think they are falling back and losing some time to the big pack. I don't think they're too worried about that. They're just trying to survive to the end of this race, and we'll see Checkered Flag pull out a victory here tonight.
Yeah, right now 26 seconds. They are about 4/10 faster back here where you see them 2 by 2. But J.D. Crow on the outside of Sebastian Marin working down low. Usually we see Marin working the high side of the racetrack. KR now really painting the yellow line here tonight at the Daytona International Speedway. Kevin Freese is there in spot number 2 in this group. Here, and then there's a little bit of separation, and they're even dicing it up a little bit further behind them for the 51 of Elliott. We haven't really talked much about Travis Elliott here tonight. Runs in the 22nd spot. Car usually we see up front being aggressive. Maybe saving that aggressiveness here for later in the run. They're really dicing it up back there.
Well, I'll tell you, you gotta do what you gotta do. Can't let it get away from you. All right, laps winding down here in stage number 2, the 46, still out on the speedway. They were last on pit road on lap 24. We're now getting ready to start working lap 42. So Al, it's been a relatively calm race for Checkered Flag Motorsports. Jared Forbes ended up going multiple laps down because of that smack into the inside wall. But other than that, the 46, the 62, 73 smacked the wall, and I'm missing a number. 77. There we go.
How could you miss Mr. Booth?
I don't know. It's my racing favorite. It's my hockey jersey number. It's my favorite racing number. Well, I missed the 77.
Isn't that your racing number?
Right now it's 4, but that's because I don't own the car.
Gotcha. Oh, you're a hired gun.
I'm a hired gun.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, sure. Gotta win championships or you lose the seat.
Yeah, well, get it done, son.
Got one done. Gotta go get like 10 more.
Well,
I don't want to quit driving yet.
No, don't do that. Right now, I'll tell you the driver that's not quitting anything. That's the 46 of Overstreet. For that back group there, KR, we talked about how this front group was losing time. Just 3 laps to go. They had a 26-second lead. Now that is down to 22 and getting smaller as Jeremy Funk is going to come down pit road. So he'll be the lone soldier down pit road. And, well, he will get to his pit stall. So he had the bail out, maybe run a little bit overheating there as he was tucked up behind. I believe that was the 77 of Booth. Now, I do believe when these guys pit, 73 of Forbes will be able to stay out on the racetrack, get back to 1 lap down. We close in. Next time by will be 6 laps to go here in stage number 2. And what has been relatively a quiet stage until you look back here with the Sebastian Mayer group, and they are stacked up 3x3, jammed up and jelly tight, just like your ride home on the interstate.
David Overstreet leading that field on the pit road, got big time loose as he had the brakes applied, saved it, kept it off the wall, but that is going to cost him a little bit of time. But 3 wide racing as this pack is going to come around and take over the race lead. Sebastian Marin in the 23, the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, and the 19 of Zach Workman leading their respective lanes.
Oh, the 63 of Helton was in the outside wall. That checks up Tyler Miller. Miller, your stage 1 winner, is going to drop back now. After the 63 of Logan, Helton got up into the outside wall. Somehow, no big disaster averted, and they're going to right back to 3 wide action.
Zach Workman in the 19 on the high side. Here comes the 40 of Peter DeBorgia to help out that 19 in that 3rd lane. DeBorgia already locked in with a win earlier this season. Zach Workman below the cutoff and trying to make his way forward into the playoffs the first championship round. Now this is the final race of the regular season, and sometimes you'll take help wherever you can find it, especially if it's a teammate.
Yeah, right now you really need your teammates' help, especially if they're locked in. More team members you have in the championship playoffs, well, that just means better chance for your team to get that championship trophy at the end of the season. And Marin doing a good job down the inside line. Cody Eldred, Cody Ober also involved in this pack. Logan Helton getting very aggressive, working to the inside. He has a win, so he can kind of play. You got a few drivers in this pack here that can't afford for a mistake to be had. And you had some that, well, they just worry about bringing home the checkered flag. Tonight's all about the checkered flag or the steering wheel when you come back to pit road at the end of the race.
Laps winding down in stage number 2, Al, and this pack very possibly going to be 3 wide to the end of it. One way or another, there'll be 3 wide to the end of it.
That they will be in. Workman trying to get the outside to move forward. There, door to door by door, to come across the line, and they're starting to make some ground. Only 4 cars making up that inside lane. You've got 6 in the middle and 3 up top. So the numbers would say that that middle lane should be the one moving forward. And I tell you, Hunter Reynolds would like to get this win. A win here in stage number 2 would pretty much solidify his chance of racing for a championship starting next Monday night. As they work into turn number 3, they are still 3 by 3. Cody Eldred back there trying to figure out which lane to go with, which lane might wreck, which lane is going to win. 3 to go.
So Gabe Butler in the 88 taking us on board as he works this outside line tucked in behind the 40 of Mixmaster PJ. You can find that guy over on Twitch. If you do check him out, make sure you tell him we sent you from the Turn 3 Racing Network. Liberty Fires comes over from there. Nice little viewer swap that the Mixmaster PJ in Turn 3 has.
Oh, runner Reynolds highways, Kevin Freese, hard contact the inside wall. Joe Delvecchia, yellow flag coming out. Sebastian Marin's going to get the win. Oh, what happened off of turn number 4? The 26 of Hunter Reynolds was sideways. And that will bring out the yellow flag here. And stage number 2.
Let's take a look at this one and see what happened as they were making their way through 3 and 4, 3 wide. Zach Workman in the 19 on the high side, Hunter Reynolds in the 26, Sebastian Marin in the 23. Around they come, and it looks like, unfortunately, a touch of net code. The 2 and the 26 get together, and around goes Joey D. Cody Eldred, I think, in the 14. That looked like a 14. Hard to tell for sure.
Looked like there was the 4th, yeah. Well, Eldred, I think, got through it. Tyler Miller's got some front end damage. The 6 of Barber also damaged. And there you go. You're right, KR. The 14 making hard contact with the board train. That was already his backup car. So that might be an end here of the evening for the 40 at the Borgia.
Logan Helton was able to get through with a little bit of contact, but on the pit road comes the field, the 23 of Sebastian Marin, making his way to his pit stall. He is our unofficial stage 2 winner. So Sebastian Marin picks up another stage win. That's going to give him 5 stage wins in total. As he is down and away. Fuel and 2 tires for that one. Very efficient pit stop for him. All right, Al, what do you say you interview our stage 2 winner? As I got to go all the way down to the end of the list here to find him on the radio, and take it away, Al.
Yeah, we're here with our stage 2 winner, Sebastian Marin. Do you have a copy? This is Al Smith up in the turn 3 booth.
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
You had a great stage there. The racing, we're seeing very intense 3-wide action. We see you uncharacteristically right down on the yellow line here tonight. Is that the game plan from the start of the race here tonight?
I don't know. I think at the end of the race, you want to be in the middle, but I since it's early in the race, I kind of want to play it safe, stay on the bottom, especially on the restarts, since we had fuel. But now that the stages are over, I don't know. The race might change a bit. The middle might become the better lane. It's kind of situational, depending on whoever's behind you. But I was just trying to help out my teammate there, Kevin. So we were playing it safe and just riding on the bottom. Oh yeah, that was the strategy. It's a shame that he got caught up in that wreck, but got third place in the stage, so another good load of points. So trying to help him get into the playoffs.
Yeah, unofficially by our quick math up here in the booth, I believe he is above the cut line now, ahead of Barber and Holloway. But as you know, these races, anything can happen, and now it's the big pay window is going to be opening up here. The last 50 laps, I think it'll get a little bit tame at the beginning and then start to ratchet up like it does every week.
I think it'll be tame for the first 10, 15 laps. And maybe after this first pit stop, I think it's going to get really, really aggressive because track position is so hard around here. It's so tight, so it's hard to pass. So yeah, I think after the first pre-flight pit stop, when we get there, it's going to get very aggressive.
Well, if we see the lights are out around the speedway and on the pace car, we'll let you get back to it. Before we do, though, who makes it all possible? I know you got some people you'd like to thank here before we're going back green.
Oh, my teammates, Kevin, Vinny, Joe, and you guys for putting on the broadcast, and OP in general for putting on this league. I'm going to thank them all.
Well, there you have it. That is the winner of stage number 2, your current race leader, the 23, the Sebastian Marin, as he will get ready to go back underneath green flag conditions, KR, and he says it's going to be tame to start and then ratchet up after that first pit stop. And I don't think he is wrong. I don't think we are done seeing the 3-wide racing. White knuckle action that we have seen so far as we get ready to go with the start of the final stage. It's going to be 48 laps in distance to call home the win here tonight. Maybe lock yourself into a championship. Marin and Holloway on the front row. Alex Green, Richard Kuhn in row number 2. Green flag is back up and stage 3 is underway.
Here we go for the final stage of the race. This one for all the marbles. The regular season will be done and over with, and we will know who our top 16 are with our quick math, of course.
We love the quick math.
Quick math gets us through everything. Sebastian Marin already on that yellow line. The 33 of Jeff Crosby and the 12 of Zach Fritsch getting out of line as soon as they got off of turn 2. Not sure if that was by design or if there was a little bit of bumping back there that they had to bail out. But they find themselves getting blended back in.
And they are in there, 3-wide behind them. Jared Forbes work in the middle. They're back there with Kevin Fries. Hunter Reynolds up there as well. Reynolds did not get very many points, if any, that due to that wreck. So right there, that's going to bring him closer to that bottom line there. I don't believe he is harms out. He might have this one locked up with a top 20 finish, just based off the quick math there. They are, I believe, Reynolds, Over, and Seabrands should be pretty safe to make it into the round of 16. I think we really want to watch Holloway, Fries, Barber, and Workman. Those are your 4 drivers that, by my calculations, are fighting for that 16th and final spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, they are, if you're just a little bit at that cut line, Dustin Barber, really one of those drivers in big danger, and he does find himself mid-pack as he is right now in 20th, that 6th right there. But if he can find a way to finish in the top 5, as long as somebody new doesn't get a win who isn't already locked in, it should be good.
And right now there is a handful of drivers up on the front of this one that have not won yet. Alex Green, Dan Holloway, Richard Kuhn, Bob Lacavera, all without wins this season. That could play spoiler. If they get to the lead, well, that puts them in there, and that puts Hunter Reynolds on the hot seat unofficially at that point of the race. A lot of things can happen here in this last stage. Like we said, 48 laps of green flag racing coming at you. And right now, Sebastian Mayer doing a good job keeping it down low. Interesting to hear him say, though, he thought maybe you want to be in that middle lane towards the end of this one, as he has been right on the Pied Piper down on the yellow line. And Alex Green all over the back bumper there in that advanced auto parts number 3. They went through the trials. Well, listen to me, Levy leading this lap here, lap 56.
So Checkered Flag Motorsports starting to show a little bit up front. And this time, without doing it, by staying out, going for a different strategy. The 62 of Levy finding himself leading that outside lane. Sebastian Marin leading the inside. This race has 34 cars still on the lead lap. Jared Forbes, Dave Hunt, only 2 cars not on the lead lap, and they are battling each other. And the first car 1 lap down. And Al, well, we're kind of 3 wide and right in the middle here with the 77 of David Booth. Ooh, and down go to the infield goes the 12 of Fritsch. No, that wasn't Fritsch. That is Dan Harrington. Well, the 82 of Dan Harrington able to hold on to it.
Yeah, a little bit of right rear damage on that number 82. But it looks like it will be okay, as now he's got J.D. Crow coming up there to help him. As I said, Crow's going to go to the outside with that J Concepts number 2. Now tucks it back in line. Kevin Freese and Mark Mann right there behind them as well. So I think we're starting to see a little bit of patience with getting them back out of the pack a little bit, as they are still 2x2 up front. As they are trying to figure it out. And right now the top 2, Sebastian Marin and Les Levy, leading both packs as they work off of turn number 2 and down the back stretch. It has been a good race. How about Tyler Miller with a nice rebound? We saw him with some front end damage at the end of stage number 2. And how about Mr. Elliott making his first time inside the top 10 here tonight? That 51 of Travis Elliott, always a player on Monday nights. Has been fast the last few weeks, just has not had the finishes to show for it. Could tonight be the night for the 51 Monster Energy car to go to victory lane?
You know what? The 3 of Alex Green putting together a great run here as well. Got his first podium of the season last week. Now finds himself right back in the mix of things, and he happens to be our biggest mover of the race so far, Al, as he has gained 27 spots to be in that 4th place.
Yeah, he's run a very great race. A lot of good pit calls down on pit road. Oh, down on the apron, he's loose. Alex Green sideways, backs up the inside line. He'll lose 2-3 spots, and that really causes havoc behind him. Cody Ober, and I believe that is Overstreet down below the yellow line, making evasive moves. And that back bumper center punch now after hard contact after clipping the apron. I'm going to say that was on us, KR.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So we're not going to talk about drivers anymore. How are we going to do this, Al?
Well, we can talk about, I don't know. lights. How many light bulbs are around the Daytona International Speedway?
More than 2.
You would be correct. Up front, though, that kind of settled things out. Split them up to single file for the most part. Logan Helton trying to move that outside lane. Is now Dan Holloway will jump up there as he saw the momentum coming. Sebastian Marin will do the same thing. Holloway thought about going to the top floor. Still thinking about it. Sebastian Marin will take the race lead from Les Levy as Richard Kuhn stays down low. And that unsponsored, patriotic Toyota Supra on the inside lane. As these cars starting to dance around a little bit more. Are the pushes getting heavier as we close in on this first pit stop of the final stage?
I think this group out front sensed an opening and they're just trying to take advantage of it as much as possible. And you can see here comes the pack closing in very quickly. In fact, the 37 of Mr. Whiskers himself, Ernie Williams Jr., is going to use that third lane a full head of steam, and the 37 jumps out to the race lead on the high side.
Yeah, Williams had a great push by the 7 of Milam. And now that lane kind of stalls out as everybody's gone back to the inside. Jim Mayer and Cody Over kind of sniffing both lanes there as they snake around there. You see the 37 of Williams trying to side draft down the backstretch. Can't quite do it. He'll stay to the outside. I thought maybe he would drop down in front of the 3 of Alex Green. Oh, trouble off the corner. Lacavera launched into the sky.
Yeah, he's
Yellow
in the stands.
coming out.
Hope the crowd survived. That virtual crowd just got a showing.
They got to see the Dry Shaft sponsorship.
That was the 5 of Bob Lacavera going airborne. Let's see if we can catch this. Comes across the nose of the 3 and gets into the catch fence and just launches out of the park. Take another look off the nose of the 3. And so a heavy contact for the 5 of Lacavera. He is going to end up on the flatbed back to his pit stall. Hopefully he didn't use his one and only fast repair yet.
Hopefully Ernie Williams involved in that one. Heavy damage to the 7 of Milam as well. Not sure if anybody else got caught up in that. Alex Green's night just got cursed even more, KR.
Yeah, we're just going to ignore that we did that.
Looks like everybody else is going to be able to avoid that. Some right front damage on the Milam as everybody's going to come down pit road this time by, except for the 73 of Forbes, which will take the waiver on. This will put the 73 back on the lead lap.
Down and away, Sebastian Marin goes, and I think he almost won that race off of pit road. He did win the race off of pit road. That was a very close one. So Sebastian Marin and Daniel Holloway coming 1 and 2 off of pit lane.
Holloway, one of those drivers, KR, we talked about it, has to win. Well, doesn't have to win, but was below the cut line. So if he wins, he locks himself in tonight's championship 16. I think it is fair to say that Rick Seabrams is locked in. I believe all he had to do was start the race mathematically, especially by this juncture of the race. We have one driver out. That was Jimmy Reynolds, unable to get the 17 on the grid here tonight. So tough break. Been a tough season for the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds.
And that was Hunter Reynolds needed to use his computer. Hunter's computer wasn't working properly, so Jimmy stepped out of his rig essentially and let Hunter take over. And so Hunter using borrowed equipment. He's out there running, trying to keep his championship hopes alive by getting into the championship.
Yeah, I believe he should be okay. It depends on how the stage points worked out in stage 1 and 2. By my calculations, I believe he is okay. As long as he finishes inside the top, let's say top 15. We'll lock in the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. Dustin Barber, Holloway, and Freese are the ones really battling it out for that 16th and final spot. Right now, Holloway leading those 3 drivers in this stage. He'll start on the inside of the front row. I believe he'll restart. I believe the 23 American going to take the outside on this restart. I think it's about to get wild.
I am with you. This one's getting crazy. But it's not just all about the craziness, Al. We're gonna have to stay on top of it. Focus here on the fact that we've killed a man with our words.
Yeah. Apology letters will be in the mail tomorrow morning.
As soon as we said something about Alex Green, 2 incidences, and one of them ends up with the death of Bob Lacavera. So we can't do that anymore.
No, and some virtual fans.
Or
Or did the catch fence do its job? Are we unsure about that right now?
I'm not sure, but whatever it is, it sent that 5 to its pit stall. The safety vehicle down and away. Green flag is back out. The 21 of Holloway and the 23 is Sebastian Marin side by side through the trial as they try to gain speed, get through that gearbox cleanly, and then head off for turn number 1.
They're going to drop down low in front of Holloway. That leaves Miller on the outside line being pushed by the 51 of Elliott. Helping down low as well. So up front now, the 23 of Marion jumping back to the outside line is Holloway. Will pull even down the back stretch. 2 by 2 by 2. 8 rows deep they go in the turn number 3. And it is still Holloway out front. Anthony English in that turn 3 Racing Network. Dirty Dix number 44 working the inside line as well right there in front of the 3 of Alex Green. It looks like Green might have brought the backup car out. That car does look clean, so I believe that is the backup car. So no more cars in the pits for the driver of that number 33, or the driver of the 3. Cody Ober also up there. KR, he's starting to come towards the front. He's been quiet all night. Finds himself inside the top 10.
Yeah, Cody Ober right now in that 10th spot. Another one of those drivers who we thought would be good with just a solid finish, but anything can happen. And we don't have the most up-to-date points tally with how the stages have gone. And so the 8 of Cody Ober, who started this race, 39 points to the good, should still be able to hold on with a solid finish, especially a run in the top 10.
Now right now, if it were to end, Barber would be out, Holloway would be in as he led that lap. Now Sebastian Marin's gone to the inside line to take the race lead away for the time being. Down the back stretch, it'll be Kuhn right to the back bumper, trying the side draft. And I thought maybe we were going to have a big moment there, but everybody keeping it clean as they work down the back stretch. Holloway going to drop down in front of Sebastian Marin. Every time a car drops down, you notice the outside line kind of gets checked up there. The wind on the front of the cars. Now Marin's going to switch it up. They are swapping the position in the lanes up front with just 31 laps to go.
Yeah, Sebastian Marin in the 23, able to pull that move on the turn to the front. The same move that Holloway pulled on him. And so there you see the 23 gets right back to the race lead, and Tyler Miller, our stage 1 winner, slides down to the inside, and the 51 of TJ Elliott leading lane 2.
Yeah, I believe this season, looking at our stuff, Tyler Miller, if he were to go to victory lane here tonight, he would lock himself in. He is buried in the points, sitting 24th. Has 10 starts, meets the requirement for the starts count. Would that be, in your mind, considered an upset win here tonight, locking himself into the championship 16?
Oh, absolutely, and that would really change the pecking order for the guys who thought that they were just on the bubble. So if Tyler Miller can come away with a win, that is going to be huge, because that could bump out Dustin Barber. It eliminates the chance of, say, Workman or Freese or Holloway getting in on points.
Definitely would bear. Travis Elliott locked himself in on points, working the outside line. The 52 of Randall Cobb working the outside. So a lot of players up front either locked in or can lock themselves in with a W here tonight. And I believe Sebastian Marin trying to do all he can to get back out front, because he knows that the 24 wins, his teammate of Kevin Freese is not going to be racing for a championship. Freese rebounding just outside the top 10 right now as he battles side by side with the 95 of Jim Mayer. So a nice rebound after we saw Freese get involved in that last wreck off of turn number 4.
We still only have 34 cars on the lead lap. Dave Hunt, who's been battling, trying to get back on the lead lap for a good portion of the race since about the first pit stop that we had in stage number 1. And then Bob Lacavera, the first exit here tonight, an early exit for the 5 of Lacavera. He is done and over with, and we hope to see him back next week.
Yeah, tough break for Lacavera. He was very quick here tonight. Had a chance, was running up front. This was not meant to be, unfortunately. Is this one? Oh, hang on to it. Miller really up the racetrack. Contact!
Oh, and they are scattering. And we are still scattering through the tri-oval. And somehow we gather it all in and stay green.
I worked after that. Get the zebra strike.
I don't blame you, Al. That was a wild one.
Now Miller going to swing it to the outside. We saw that. Miller looked like he's starting to get a little bit tight on the bottom of the racetrack. Kind of washed up into the side. I believe that was the 52 of Randall Cobb. And then it was all sideways there. This time off of turn number 4. Well, I think everybody took a deep breath after that. They've kind of settled it out. I believe we have one more pit stop to make it to the end.
Last time they were on pit road was lap 64. And we are, yeah, I think
at least one.
We definitely have one more, for sure. Maybe even 2. That caution came out. By the time I see someone have to make a second pit stop. I don't think the cautions are done falling just yet, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like I said, last on pit road, lap 64. We are now working lap 76. So they will be hitting pit road soon to sort that out.
Alex Green with a nice rebound. Do we dare talk about him again inside the top 10?
I'm not.
Working the outside. You talked about him last time in that jinx, and I'm going to talk about him this time.
Okay.
He's back up the outside, so the outside line really starting to show some momentum, flexing some muscle. Now Marin will come down to the inside, drop it down low. It amazes me when the car on the outside drops low, how much it hurts that outside lane. They lose about half a car length to a car length every time that happens.
Yeah, the dynamic as you move around this racetrack and how the air works and everything is very unique. And you see these drivers have adapted to it and they have learned how to use it. And when that second lane falls back, the car in second place usually waits till the corner exit to jump up and make a move, or I should say the car on the inside jumps up and makes a move right in front of that outside lane to steal some of the momentum that they create when they come off of the corner.
Yeah, it amazes me. Now everybody starting to get to that single file line. I think we are going to start to see. I think it's still too early. 23 laps to go. I'm not sure. I don't think you can make it from this if you stop now.
You cannot make it if you stop now, but man, I'll tell you, they're going to try and stretch this fuel tank as far as they can and get as close as they can to the actual fuel window opening up for the last stop. Like I said, I think that is going to be really close as to when they're going to have to hit pit road versus when that fuel window opens up for about 18 laps to go, 19 laps to go.
Or this time by it's going to be 14 laps since they were last on pit road. I think it's a two-stop race.
We'll find out.
Pending caution, of course.
We will find out, I'll tell you that much.
Still up front, Sebastian Marin has led it there, has had some challenges, dropped back. Now is Travis Elliott giving him a good push. It is Tyler Miller in spot number 3, fourth, the 21 of Holloway. And Richard Kuhn, Florida native, running inside the top 5, was running well last week. Until that came unraveled for the driver of the 47. They brought another good Toyota Supra to the track here tonight.
One of the Toyota Supras with Sebastian Marin really put in a good showing this season. Not very many Supras out there. We got Sebastian Marin, Zach Workman, and the 47 of Richard Kuhn. I believe those are the only 3 Toyota cars out there tonight.
Yep, them and the Fords are very outnumbered by the bow ties. You know I'm salty about that.
Dustin Barber in the 6th, who is coming in just a few points above the cutoff, making a move from the outside lane mid-pack, trying to work his way forward, get up into contention for this thing. We're going to try and keep an eye on the 6 and the goings on there. He's got his teammate, the 7 of Josh Milam, right behind him. Josh Milam going to give a shot to the Ford there to try and get that 6 into the fight.
And they got Ernie Williams right there as well. And here comes another Ford. So the 3 Fords working together here tonight. And look at the momentum they have down the backstretch around the 8th of October. 2 turns, 3 and 4. They have caught this top pack now. They are stacked up 2 by 2 from 4th on back. Hunter Reynolds joining the outside lane as well. As they start to make their way back towards the front here with 19 circuits remaining here at the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway.
Going on board with the 82 of Dan Harrington as he works his way on the inside. Barber in the 6 just to his outside as he is now caught up to the 2 of J.D. Crow. So everyone getting single file, looks like that has gone by the wayside, and we are going to see that fuel window open up to make it to the end of this race. For the regular scheduled distance, here comes the 4, Rick Seabrand's the 04 Mark Mann peeling off as well.
2 drivers coming down pit road there. Everybody else staying out on the racetrack. I kind of like that play call with how crazy this racing is going to start to get. Come in now, you don't have to come back again unless you feel like you can't make it on fuel. But right now, Sebastian Marin showing the way. And the way that these drivers are doing the pushing around this racetrack, I don't see how they can last much longer here. Everybody getting single file, okay, there's only about 7 cars up on the outside line, and here they come all down pit road.
Yeah, they have all peeled off. We have 12 cars that stay out. Logan Helton stays out, Randall Cobb in the 63 and the 52. Logan Helton already locked in, Randall Cobb, I believe, already locked in as well. Randall Cobb is not locked in.
No, Randall Cobb needs a win here tonight to make it into the championship.
So
it's going to get wild between the people that can either point their way in or have to win, and I think we're going to see a lot of aggressiveness coming up here in the next 16 laps as the rest of the field will come down pit road for their final stop of the evening.
The 7 of Josh Milam had a tremendous entry into pit lane. Let's see if he got that thing slowed down all the way or not, but man, did he carry some speed onto pit road. The 23 of Sebastian Marin, who pitted just 1 lap ago, trying to get his race car up to speed. Here comes the 21 of Holloway making a move to the outside. Holloway trying to win and get in the 44 of Anthony English, helping him out.
English getting, and Holloway will drop right back down to the inside. But Holloway being your race leader, well, that puts him into the championship at the checkered flag where the fall. So this is all important to watch as they are going to come up on these drivers coming off pit road. They're going to be 3 wide. They are down the backstretch.
Things are getting tight as they make their way by the cars. We're trying to get up to speed. The 63 of Logan Helton has found his teammate Jim Mayer in the 95. And that 7 of Josh Milam got a bunch of spots getting onto pit road and was able to slow it down enough before he got tagged for speeding.
He did. Holloway still show. Oh, Holloway gets bumped up the racetrack. Sebastian Marin gets him sideways. And then somehow they save it. Great drive, and that's going to be the gobstopper save of the night. Hopefully he wasn't sucking on one and got it stuck in his throat.
He would have sucked that all the way down to his stomach, I'm pretty sure, because that was one of those where your heart jumps up into your throat.
And the bumper tag starting to get harder. We just saw the 51 of Elliott. Oh, trouble behind him. The 2 of Crow goes upside down. I believe that was the 12 of Fritz as well. Josh Milam involved. Hunter Reynolds, Dustin Barber. His championship hopes could be dashed with being involved in this wreck as there are 10, 12 cars down here in turn 3 and 4.
And it was a big one for sure. As they were making their way through the corner, several race cars involved. Let's back this up and let's see how it all goes wrong. Up in front, you can see it happen as we ride on board with the 6 of Barber, and he is trying to get it slowed down. And he gets tagged from behind before he even gets into the crash as he was checking up. But yeah, Zach Fritsch in the 12. The 2 of JD Crow looked like he got a bump in the middle of the corner, came down. And then from there, it is everyone just going elbows and ankles trying to hold on to something and get their cars righted.
Yeah, Josh Milam, JD Crow, Butler involved, Les Levy. Then everybody trying to slow up behind them. Barber, Alex Greenwald, David Booth. David Overstreet comes in, tags the 7 of Josh Milam. Big trouble in turns 3 and 4 to put us underneath the yellow flag.
The caution flag coming out, and this is going to help everyone get into a little bit of extra fuel for the possibility of a green-white checkered.
We'll find out who had cars left, who doesn't have cars left to jump into.
So Holloway in the 21, Mountain Beast out and in front. And that caution flag came out. Sebastian Marin in the 23 down on the bottom. He's going to find himself in second. Anthony English rounding out your top 3.
Right now, Holloway leading this race would be unofficially locked in to the championship 16. Came in with no wins on the season here tonight. And 3 points at the start of the race below the cut line. I believe that number has grown, KR, based on the first 2 stages and my quick math in my head.
We are a fan of the quick math.
But it doesn't matter if you're out front.
The quick math is pretty much just like, remember the show, Whose Line Is It Anyways?
I love that shit.
Yeah, well, they kept score as well, but they used quick math.
Yes. And the points don't matter.
And the points don't matter. Well, we're going to use their quick math, but the points do matter here.
Right. Unless you're leading it and you don't have a win, then it doesn't matter because that's an automatic lock-in. As long as you have 9 starts.
Gotta have that win and those starts. The Holloway in the 21. Gonna restart on the inside of row number 1. The outside will be the 23 of Sebastian Marin. Row number 2 will be the 44 of Anthony English. On the outside, the 24 of Tyler Miller. Row 3 will be the 51 of TJ Elliott and the 8 of Cody Ober. This is your first 3 rows for this restart. As this caution comes to a close, we're going to have 11 laps to go when the green flag comes out. And Al, you know as well as I do, throughout this season, we've seen it more often than not. 2 attempts at a green-white checkered, should we need them.
That is true. What would it be, cutoff race, lock in the top 16 without a green-white checkered attempt? At least 1 KR. I just feel like it has to happen.
You're not wrong.
Make sure you have extra popcorn tuning in here tonight, Turn 3 Racing Network. 11 laps to go. Dan Holloway, your race leader, is going to jump on the gas pedal as they work here underneath the stripe. Sebastian Marin gets a good launch on the outside line, as well as English trying to get the 21 up to speed. It's the end of the turn number 1. And just like that, Sebastian Marin is going to cut down low in front of the 21 of Holloway.
The 23 has the race lead coming off of turn number 2, but this field looking very antsy. No one content just to ride around the 24, Tyler Miller, making a move on the outside lane as the 8 of Cody Ober gets to that back bumper, and they are pushing hard through the corner.
Everybody trying to get up there. Mark Mann now creeping up here. The Batman has seen the signal. It is time to go, trying to go for 3 in a row. Something that is very hard to do here at the OP Premier Series here. and he has found himself inside the top 10. Kevin Freese also knows he has to get back to the front, has to try everything in his power as he sees a lot of his competitors without wins out in front of him. Right now, his best friend is the 23, Sebastian Marin. Has a win on the season. If he wins here, to make it possible for the 25 of Freese to point his way in. But Dan Holloway came in ahead of him in the points. Everybody trying to jostle for position. With just 10 laps to go, make it 9 at the stripe. The outside line starting to get formed up, being led by the 24 of Tyler Miller.
So Miller leading Ober and Logan Helton. Logan Helton in the 63. That is the outside 3 cars. Then the 23, 21, and 44 down on the inside. We do have a few I shouldn't say powerhouses, but a few cars a little bit further back that you need to keep an eye on. The 04 Mark Mann finding himself in the outside lane in that Batmobile, as you said, and Jared Forbes in the 73 from Checkered Flag Motorsports right behind him. We saw Jared Forbes go a lap down. He has found a way to get back on the lead lap, and now he is battling, trying to get inside the top 10. Checkered Flag Motorsports got some tricks up their sleeve. I've been saying it all race long. Don't sleep on that group just yet.
Definitely don't sleep on it. Is the now English starting to make a move on the outside. Holloway stuck down low. He'll give a push to Marin down the backstretch, and Logan Helton's going to make it 3 wide down the backstretch. Thought of it, now tucks it back in line here in the turn number 3. Everybody trying to figure out what's it going to take to get to victory lane here tonight. They come off turn number 4. English with a good head of steam, getting a push by Miller, and that disturbed number 24. 7 to go.
We ride on board with the 63 of Logan Helton as the laps are winding down here at the Daytona International Speedway. The 23 continues to lead. He is out in front. The 44 of Anthony English trying to get that run down the backstretch to steal the race lead. Got a shot there, almost got crossed up. Anthony English, another one of the drivers, a little bit down the running order in that 44. He came into tonight 36th place in the point standings. No top 10s to speak of so far this season. If he could get a win, what a tremendous effort that would be for the 44, and a huge upset for the drivers near the top of that points pecking order.
It definitely would be. Miller also would be an upset as they work down the backstretch, and your new race leader is the 44 of English. But look at Logan Helton with a push by Jim Mayer. 3 wide for your race lead in the turn number 3. This time by, they're going to get the high 5 sign from our flagger here at Daytona International Speedway. They are 3 abreast for your race lead off of turn number 4.
Getting very tight to each other there. Everyone's snuggling up. Hold on, folks. 3 wide through the tri-ovals. They are still dancing back and forth. They are just looking for a place to crash.
That they are. They work into the corner. The top one car in the outside wall. That's the 37 of Ernie Williams. Will stay green as they now sell it 2 by 2. The Holloway tries to sneak up in front of English. That's going to break the momentum down low. Here comes English. He gives a shot to the 23 of Marin. Here comes Kevin Freese. Where did he come from? Down to the turn number 4. The 8 of Ober into the outside wall. They are 4 wide through turns 3 and 4.
Cody Ober got into the outside wall, and everyone was able to squeeze down underneath him, but trouble. Eric Laurie is going to get turned. Mark Mann is going to go around. Cody Ober involved. Randall Cobb. And the caution flag comes out. And we head into our first attempt at a green-white checkered.
What is going on here tonight at the International Speedway? We told you that it was going to get wild. How did they go 4 wide through turns 3 and 4? I know they didn't make it because we're underneath yellow flag, but that was after the fact they had gone 4 wide. I had never seen that this season here at Daytona.
And Cody Ober just got caught out in that 4th lane. Everyone was trying to squeeze by. We take a look and see what happened here. Eric Laurie, Dan Harrington, Jim Mayer, all getting together right before the trioval. The 82 and head for pit road there. We collect quite a few drivers. On board with the 37 of Ernie Williams Jr. And you see the big stack up happening in front of him. He's trying to get it woed up. Dustin Barber had the brakes locked up and smacked into the outside wall. Ernie with a good bit of driving. I'm not sure, but I don't think he got any incidents there. Whatever happened, he still pulled down on the inside.
Just like that. Whew, I catch my breath after that one. I was getting wild up there. A lot of hard pushing up there. You don't think these drivers know what's on the line? Better think twice about it. Peter DeBoer going to get the free pass. How about this? Sebastian Mayer, your race leader, has a win. Would like to add another one. The drivers behind him, all winless here this season. Starting with the number 44 of Anthony English, the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Remember, we touched that he was only 3 points behind the cutoff line at the start of the race. Right behind him, a battle contested for Holloway, Kevin Freeze runs 4th. Tyler Miller in the 24 picked up the stage 1 win, finds himself running 5th. Hunter Reynolds, we believe if it finishes inside the top 10, will definitely make it in on points, but he is without a win this season. How about Joe Delavecchia? He's got a win. He's the next driver with a win. So if you're Sebastian Marin, you know what's on the line for at least 5 of the drivers behind you. What do you do? Obviously, you want to stay out front here, but you know those drivers are going to try to do everything to get by you.
Yeah, I think you just got to do what he's been doing this whole race. Protect that inside line. And if they want to get around you, well, then now he jumps up into the outside lane. So, yeah, I don't know anymore.
Remember, he did say in our interview that he wanted to be in that middle lane at the end of the race.
I do remember you saying that now. Or I remember him saying that now that you pointed out. Okay, well, let's find out if that's going to work for him. Lights are out on the pace car. We are going to see them rip and tear once again. 44 of Anthony English looking for his first win. the 23 of Sebastian Marin looking for win number 2, but any shot at keeping somebody out of the championship that you want could be one of the reasons why he is trying very hard to win this race.
We are about to find out. Green, white, checkered, attempt number 1. Marin English, Holloway really laying back off the back bumper, trying to get a good run now. Will do so. Anthony English will lead at the line. Sebastian Marin down on the outside. Kevin Freese lines up right behind him. Well, they hooked up. We know those two are teammates. Kevin Freese needs a win to guarantee himself a run at the championship. Up to the gearbox. Your top two are side by side. Anthony English winless on the season as well. 2x2 down the back stretch they come in the turn number 3.
The 44 has that yellow line, and right now I don't think he's going to do anything to give that up. The 21 of Holloway to his back bumper, but we are 3 wide as they make their way off of turn number 4. The 24 of Tyler Miller using that high lane to his advantage.
Coming through the tri-oval, they're going to get the white flag, and if it were to end, it would be Tyler Miller leading that one at the stripe, I do believe. But now Marin gets pushed out to your race lead. In the turn number 1 they come. It is Marin shown out front. Anthony English going to run. They are starting to jostle for position. Off a corner, here comes a push from Daniel Holloway. Holloway right to the back bumper of English. Now Marin's going to get pushed down the backstretch. Wheel to wheel in the turn number 3. They are going to come into turn 3. Miller with a great run on the outside.
Side by side by side, here they come. The 44 of Anthony English down on the bottom, but Kevin Freese is pushing hard on the 23, but Travis Elliott gives a huge shot to the 24 of Tyler Miller. They're going to crash behind them, and at the line, I believe it was Tyler Miller coming away with the win, and Sebastian Marin going to bring it home in second.
Where did Miller go? He picks up the win unofficially as all heck broke loose, and boy, does that change up the championship picture, KR.
Yeah, let's take a look and see what happened to the 24. And I believe the 24 cleared the fence as everyone just plowed in behind him. And he ends up winning this race. Oh my.
They were 3 wide coming to the checkered flag. Anthony English going to get hooked after a bump gone wrong.
All right, well, Al, let's see about starting this post-race show. Well, let's kick it off by talking to our race winner. I do believe that to be the 24 of Tyler Miller. Tyler, you got your ears on?
Yes, sir.
Well, we're not sure where you ended up, but hopefully it was in victory lane.
Yeah, I don't, right now it says I'm first. I think they're going to look over everything, though.
All right, man. Well, they will review this one for sure as they review all the races, but that car launched itself up and over the fence as if to celebrate crossing that start finish line first.
Yeah, man, I was just sitting there, and then I literally, as soon as I think Seabass got tapped a little bit and me and him collided a little bit, as soon as it happened, like as soon as I crossed start finish line, my screen went like exited out of the car. So I was a little worried. I didn't know what happened.
Well, man, it was an outstanding finish for you. You do bring it home in first by our scoring. And so that means you won a stage, you win the race. It puts you into playoff contention now. And that is going to upset some of the guys who are higher up the points as you came in well down the order this season.
Yeah, man. I just sometimes you just gotta try to stay up front, and that's always been my strategy. And it ain't paid off a lot, but it paid off tonight.
All right, man. Well, an outstanding job winning this race tonight. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, I'd like to give a huge shout out to you guys up in the booth, KR. Shout out to Josh and the guys that run the league. We guess the biggest shout out of the night goes to Travis for pushing me to that win. All my teammates, we all stayed on the same strategy tonight, and they were there for me and Anthony all night because we were in must-win situations. Big shout out to Eric, Christina, and all of our friends watching at home.
That is Tyler Miller, our race winner and amateur astronaut. All right. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's move on to our second place finisher. And now I believe you've caught up with Sebastian Marin.
Yeah, right here with Sebastian Marin, who, called it at the end of stage number 2 after picking up the win that it was going to get tame, then get wild. Talk us through the last probably 10 laps of this race. We saw you really change in lanes. You get a runner on the outside, drop down low, then really having to fight for that top spot. And that last lap, that just was wild. I'm still trying to comprehend it.
Yeah, man, with these cars, you kind of have to take the run or just, you got to change lanes, because if you don't, you're just going to get stuck on that certain lane. That's why they're about 10 to go. You saw that so much switching lane, especially with a few cars that had a tiny bit of damage that I knew would be easier, I guess, for me to pass. And I wanted that track position. I wanted to be leading at all times. And then after that last yellow, my teammate managed to get to fourth. So picked the high lane. That's where I wanted to be. And then, I just got wild there in the last lap. A little bit of contact coming off of 2 with Holloway, which I think cost us a little bit of momentum, which gave the top that extra oomph that it needed. So that's why at turn 4, they got that big run, and they barely cinched us out. But, either way, it was still a really, really good night for us. I think it's probably my best race from me in this whole season. So I'm really proud of that, and pretty sure my teammate also made it to the playoffs. So I'm also proud of that.
When you talk about the playoffs, we will start that next week as we're going to kick it off down at Talladega. Good time to have, well, you just said most likely your best race fundamentally from start to finish here this season. How important is that to have that as we get into the playoffs? We had a win earlier this season. You can get it done. What's it going to take to, not only make it through the round of 16, but end up as the final 4 here at the end of June?
Yeah, a great run like this is very important. It gives you confidence, gives you momentum. It makes you confidence that that you can do it. That you're meant to be here. So gonna take this momentum and hopefully get a win. If not, get some decent points and stay out of trouble next week and try and make it to the final round of the playoffs.
Well, we know you came home one spot lower than you would like to, but overall, still a good night. Who makes it all possible? Who you got to give a shout out to here to put you on the podium?
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out again to my teammates, Kevin, JD, and Joe. They did such a great job today. All of us trying to help Kevin get locked in, and I'm pretty sure we succeeded with that tonight. I want to thank you guys for putting on this broadcast. It's always great to have broadcasters broadcasting such a great race. And I want to thank OP for putting on this league. And this has probably been, in my opinion, probably my favorite race of the season. Just really good, hard racing. A little bit of sketchy moments here and there, but, it's always going to be there. So that's it.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish. We'll see you next week in Dega for the start of the championship chase.
Thank you.
That's Sebastian Marin picking up the spot number 2 here tonight. KR locked in to the championship. He will battle come 1 week. And one driver who else will battle, pointed himself into the night at the start of the race, is you're standing by with him on pit road.
I have caught up with none other than the illustriously handsome and devilishly good driver. That is the 51 and Travis Elliott. Mr. Elliott, how you doing?
AR. Ow. I am doing fantastic. How are you guys doing it?
Well, man, we watched you shove that 24 for one entire lap and finally get that 24 out in front, putting him into victory lane, you into third place. Tell us a little bit about that last lap there.
We're just kind of trying to plan to get either Tyler or Anthony a win there, and I kind of figured if I could disrupt that outside line by getting to the top and try to pinch him down, create a little bit of drag on that middle, get Anthony out in front of Seabass there, but just so happened that timing was perfect for me and Tyler to get hooked up on that middle lane there. And at turn 2, we just took the run. And like you said, I didn't leave his bumper the entire time. I was flashing right at the line. So I was ready to pop that engine, wreck another 28 cars, break my record, but kept it clean, kept it straight, and got my teammate into the playoffs.
Well, man, that 51 already into playoff contention. You locked yourself in by having a solid points run in this regular season. Now, looking forward, we got 3 races that we're going to take the top 16 and whittle down to 8. How do you think your chances are in surviving the first round?
My luck keeps up like it has been, and keep racing smart and kind of continue this momentum from the regular season on. Feel fairly good, especially only 3 races. Only 3 people can lock in themselves with wins, so it's going to be a lot of solid finishes, more so, and getting some stage points and keeping the car clean. Just doing whatever I can to be there at the end and make sure I have a chance, whether that's coming in first or getting a top 5. It's definitely something that is going to have to keep going every single race, and you can't let up at all. It's going to get really intense in here. It always does every year in the playoffs, and hopefully we can ride this wave all the way to the Final 4.
Well, man, a solid run for you here tonight. Once again, congratulations on bringing it home in a 3rd place. Shout outs, thank yous that you haven't said yet.
Yeah, just real quick, I want to do this for my boy Tyler. Just give me 1 second. It's a typical KR tradition. I don't think he's ever done it for me before, but I'm gonna do it for my man Tyler real quick. Just gonna.
Perfect. Well, there you go, man. Travis, that sounded and tasted great.
But shout out to my teammates, Tyler Miller, Zach Fritsch, Jeff Crosby, Anthony English. Couldn't have made this happen without all of them, and we brought it home tonight. Shout out to Peter DeBorgia for my lovely 51 Monster Energy machine. Makes me feel nice and at home. Shout out to my man Colin. I'm his Derek Carr. He's my Derek Carr. Shout out to you guys up at turn 3. Love you guys to death.
All right, that is Travis Elliott. Once again, a solid 3rd place finish for you and pushed his teammate to victory. Nice job, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Well, there you go, Al. That is our top 3 finishers here tonight. Nothing left but the race results, and we're going to take a look at those as Tyler Miller comes away with the race win. Sebastian Marin 2nd, Travis Elliott 3rd. Rick Seabrand's have an outstanding finish. Didn't talk a lot about him, but that 4 ends up in 4th place, and Kevin Freese rounds out your top 5.
Anthony English going to have a heartbreaker, finish in 6th. Daniel Holloway 7th. Dave Hunt and Zach Workman 8th and 9th, respectively. And Joe Delavecchia rounding out your top 10.
11th place, Hunter Reynolds. David Booth 12th. 13th, Dan Harrington. Cody Eldred 14th. 15th place goes to the 63 of Logan the Kid Helton.
16th will go to the Hall of Famer Jim Mayer. Gabe Butler will come home 17th. 18th to go to Les Levy. Eric Laurie 19th and David Overstreet 20th.
21st goes to Mark Mann. Randall Cobb 22nd. 23rd, Jeremy Funk. Cody Ober finishing in 24th. And 25th place goes to the 73 of Jared Forbes.
John Stevens will come home 26th. 27th will go to Peter DeBorgia. Dustin Barber will come home 28th and will miss the playoffs. Unfortunately, the 29th of Jeffrey Crosby and JD Crow will finish 30th.
31st goes to Ernie Williams Jr., Zach Fritsch 32nd, 33rd Alex Green, Josh Milam 34th, 35th Richard Kuhn, and Bob Lacavera finishing in 36th. And so Hunter Reynolds sends a thank you to Jimmy Reynolds as Jimmy gave up his ride tonight so that Hunter could battle it out on the speedway, and Hunter ended up in 11th. We'll see how all the points fall throughout this week, as this race is going to be under review due to a last lap incident. And so all we can give you is our unofficial finish, and you can do your quick math from there. But Al, this thing was everything we thought it would be for the end of a regular season.
Yeah, we just saw how ratcheted up the intensity level got at the cutoff race. Now you're going to throw 16 drivers in, well, to a cage, and it's going to be the best of those racers over the next 3 weeks right here at Talladega, Daytona, and again at Daytona round number 1. 16 drivers, and only that will get cut in half. So we thought the racing was intense, trying to make the top 16. Wait till they get to 16 plus all the other 20 plus drivers out there on the racetrack. We know we're going to have some spoilers, and we hope that the racing is good. We hope that everybody will tune in next week for the start of the chase.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to seeing you there. So until next time, stay safe and have a good night.